Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tearing down some massive misconceptions about the future of global manufacturing. There's this pervasive narrative out there that bringing artificial intelligence onto the factory floor is just about swapping out human hands for physical robots. But the data, it tells a completely different and frankly much more profitable story. We're actually entering the era of human-machine collaboration. By the time we hit 2026, AI is shifting from being just a simple, siloed tool to this vital, collaborative brain, and it drives massive profitability by quietly eliminating all those invisible micro-frictions that constantly eat away at your margins.
To really understand this revolution, we have to look at what's called the global expansion trap. Right now, manufacturers are aggressively expanding into Southeast Asia. We're talking places like Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, mostly to escape rising costs and trade tariffs. But here's the catch. Suddenly, these exact same companies are completely drowning in hidden management costs. The massive benefits of that cheaper overseas labor, they're unexpectedly just wiped out. So why is that happening? What are the invisible operational frictions that are literally destroying that expected profitability?
Okay, let's dive right into this and look at Part 1, Global Manufacturing's Hidden Pains. When you move a supply chain across borders to places like Vietnam or Thailand, you instantly hit a wall of language barriers and cultural differences. Combine that with clunky legacy manual processes, and you've got a recipe for severe operational drag. The old expectation was so simple: cheap labor equals higher profits. It's this outdated mindset of, well, we'll just hire more people for less money. But the gritty reality down on the factory floor is much harsher. High communication costs and manual errors absolutely shred those margins. According to reports from Widevance, companies are burning massive amounts of cash just on human translation for basic training, documentation, and everyday management. Think about it. When a Taiwanese manager can't directly communicate with a Thai line worker, every single instruction requires a middleman. It slows everything down to an absolute crawl.
That brings us to Part 2. AI voice breaks communication walls.
This is where we see our first major intervention on the factory floor. We're moving toward what's called the cognitive factory, where AI acts as this instant communication bridge. Let me give you a really specific real-world anecdote from Econora that perfectly illustrates this. Imagine a processing plant in Taichung. It's the middle of the night shift. A Thai worker suddenly notices a piece of critical machinery is overheating. In the past, absolute crisis. But now, step 1, the worker simply grabs their phone and records a quick voice memo in Thai directly into the company's line group. Step 2, the AI instantly recognizes the language and translates that audio into a Chinese text message for the management team. Step 3, management reads the alert in real time and safely deploys a fix immediately.
The contrast here is literally life-saving and financially massive. The old way meant that the Thai worker had to physically go find an on-duty human translator, wait maybe 10 minutes, and by the time the message actually got to management, the machine might have failed or caused a serious safety hazard. The AI way, powered by tools from Echinori and WeAdvance, delivers 1-second voice-to-text translations directly in apps the workers are already using, like Line. It completely eliminates the cognitive load. Nobody has to switch apps, nobody has to learn complicated new software. It just works seamlessly, right in the background.
So, the crucial point here is this staggering number, 80%. According to data from KT's Smart Translation Systems, implementing an AI communication automation system can slash your communication costs by 80%. You're no longer just throwing human capital at a scaling problem. You let the system handle 80% of the routine, cross-lingual coordination, which frees up your core human staff to handle the complex 20%. It completely restructures your entire overhead.
Let's shift gears to Part 3, Smart Vision's quality control revolution. Moving away from floor communication and onto the actual assembly line, traditional quality control is just a nightmare of human fatigue. Manual inspection means exhausted workers hunched over light boards, using half-inch lenses to manually count threads and hunt for tiny stains or tears. It's slow, it's incredibly inconsistent, and let's face it, human eyes get tired. Contrast that with AI machine vision. It is an unblinking, tireless eye that provides automated detection with incredible accuracy. It's completely immune to that end-of-shift fatigue that traditionally causes defect rates to just spike out of nowhere.
Let's look at exactly what this technology, like the WiseEye system detailed by Testex, can actually do. This unblinking AI eye can instantly spot 40 different types of common fabric defects. We're talking broken yarns, dye stains, missing threads. And get this, it detects flaws as minuscule as 0.1 millimeters. It consistently achieves an 85% to over 90% defect detection accuracy rate. And honestly, the best part for your balance sheet? Once it's automated, the entire inspection track requires only one human just to monitor the system's output. You've literally just turned a massive labor sink into a highly efficient automated checkpoint.
Let's move to part 4 and see how this builds into the human-machine collaboration era.
We've talked about the line workers and the quality inspectors. Now, looking at the middle management perspective, the psychology of AI adoption is fascinating. Now, what's really interesting about this McKinsey survey, which was highlighted in the Saxon AI report, is what actually gets employees to use generative AI on a daily basis. You might think people are terrified of being replaced, but the data actually shows that 45% of employees say seamless integration into my existing workflow is the key driver. They genuinely want this technology, provided it acts as a tool that empowers them rather than some clunky obstacle they have to navigate around.
There's a fascinating thesis from Gothenburg University that reinforces this beautifully. They note that AI acts as a co-pilot, bridging gaps in knowledge as they emerge. For a middle manager, AI essentially functions as a real-time learning companion. Instead of interrupting colleagues to ask routine questions, they just consult the AI. Their daily role shifts from merely gathering and producing data to actually reviewing, interpreting, and strategizing based on AI-generated insights. The human judgment remains absolutely essential. The AI just clears the busy work out of the way.
Zooming out a bit, Part 5. Data reveals staggering returns.
When we look at the macro level of unified systems, the numbers are just incredibly powerful. Walk through these metrics with me from the Saxon AI Strategic Report. By deploying enterprise-grade AI platforms, companies are seeing a 15 to 30% reduction in operational costs, which is driven heavily by predictive maintenance. Productivity and throughput up 10 to 25% thanks to process automation. And those quality defects we just talked about reduced by a massive 30 to 50% using computer vision. The big takeaway here is moving away from siloed, disjointed tools, which honestly just create more friction, and adopting a unified AI platform that serves as a single source of truth across the entire factory.
To put a really fine point on it, AI allows for 5 times faster inspection times compared to manual checking. And by using IoT sensors to predict when a machine is going to break before it actually breaks, factories are seeing a 15 to 25% reduction in unplanned equipment downtime. In manufacturing, unplanned downtime is a massive driver of lost revenue. Eliminating that, it fundamentally rewrites your factory's entire profit margin.
Finally, Part 6. The 2026 Dual-Axis Competition.
We are rapidly approaching a critical inflection point where survival in the industry will require mastering 2 interconnected forces, and this brilliantly illustrates the new reality. First, AI isn't just on the factory floor anymore. It's in the consumer's pocket with agentic commerce, where AI acts as a purchasing agent. This means your supply chain data must be perfectly structured for an AI to even recommend your product. Second, virtual try-on is becoming the standard, proven to reduce return rates by 40 to 50%. But most importantly, we have the sustainability axis, digital product passports, or DPPs. The EU is mandating blockchain-backed tracking of your product's entire lifecycle. It's a strict market entry ticket, but it's also a huge opportunity because data shows consumers are willing to pay a 10 to 15% premium for products with that verified transparency.
Which brings us to the ultimate question you need to be asking yourself right now. The old playbook of just chasing cheap labor across borders, it's dead. In the 2026 supply chain, will your AI be just another disconnected tool, or will you integrate it to become your core competitive advantage? The technology is absolutely here, the staggering ROI is proven, and the choice is entirely up to you. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will see you next time.